want. Let's go through this fucking thing. I worked on this all day.
Okay.
I mean, this is
First
killing.
day. What was your first day in county jail like?
Okay,
bullet
I only mentioned. I kind of just go through it real quick. I mean, I'm not real quick.
Let's go through it.
Okay.
We got a nice little synopsis here. We're gonna go through.
So what? This is after court. You get sentenced. What? First day you go to county jail.
Oh
first?
no! Not I get sentenced. No,
Okay.
it's not like it was out on. This is when they arrest me, bring me straight to
And you
fucking
go
county
straight to
jail.
county, right.
You're in jail. I walk in. Guys are all. I remember guys. Everybody was staring. I walked into a room. It was actually about the size of this room, maybe a little bit longer.
Give me one of those Coronas.
This is like what, booking room?
No, this is like this is where the beds are.
Right.
I've already been booked. I walk in, and I remember all the inmates are staring at me. There's like 20 guys in a room this size, all sleeping in this room. 22 guys. I walk in, they're all staring at me, and I'm thinking, holy shit. And they're all looking at me, and the guy goes, he points up and he goes, you were just on TV. And I go, what? They were watching the news. He goes, you was just on TV. He said, he said something about in chief. He said, you steal a bunch of money from an insurance company? And somebody else goes, banks, bro. That shit banks and shit. You a gangster, motherfucker. You a gangster. I thought, holy shit. I don't know what he's saying. I mean, these guys are just, I don't hang out with
But they
these
liked
guys.
you.
Yeah, no, well, they didn't start stabbing me, which is what my concern was. When I walked in, I looked at these guys. I mean, I was like, holy shit, this is a bad situation. So I go in. First thing I do is I want to make a call. I go pick up the phone. I can't figure out how to use the phone. Punching in numbers, can't figure it out. This fucking black guy comes over to me and he goes, yo, he goes, trying to call Pete? I said, I'm sorry? Trying to call Pete? I'm sorry? Pete, man. Trying to call Pete, man. Pete. I start looking around like, I don't know what the fuck he's saying. And he's speaking English.
Right.
So this white guy comes over who's got tattoos, he's got horns and shit on his fucking forehead. And he comes over and he goes, I got this. He goes, you trying to call your people? And I go, my people?
Your peeps.
Keep in mind, I've never even heard the term people. Keep in mind, I'm not, keep in mind, I say that all the fucking time. I don't give a fuck.
You're just the epitome of white privilege.
Yeah.
You've never been around anybody of any
I've
culture.
never been around, like I've been around, Spanish guys and some black guys if they're doing the roof or they're doing, but I'm not, or they're educated. I haven't been around guys that are street guys.
That are street guys,
Yeah.
right?
I've never met a street guy. So the white guy comes up, he said, you trying to call your people? I go, my people? He goes, your family. Are you trying to call your family? And I was
Right.
like, oh, yeah. He goes, okay, I got this. So he helps me use the phone. I can't even use the phone. You got to push fucking 50 numbers in
Yeah.
to get a
You got to put
call.
your inmate number in, everything.
This was
right?
the beginning of a
my
long journey,
God.
Matt.
I remember talking to the white guy after you got nothing to do. There's one TV out of 20 guys, 15 of them are Spanish. So guess which channel you're watching? The Spanish channel.
Telemundo.
Yeah. So you're just sitting there. All we're doing is playing, chess and talking. So the guy's got horns on his head, and I went, bro. After a couple days, you seem like a normal guy. And he goes, right. I go, what's with the fucking horns on your head? He goes, I came in young. I think I told you this one time. He came in. He goes, I went to a prison where guys were being killed every week. He goes, so I didn't think I was going to make it. So you just get crazy.
Yeah.
He said, then I finished my state sentence and I came here to the feds because I had a Fed bid to do. He said, now I'm going to be out in a few. So he, he's leaving. So he's going to the feds now. And so now he's got he thought he was going to be dead any day now. He's got tattooed fucking spiral horns on his forehead. He's got all this. Now you're getting out. You're not getting a job at the bank.
Right.
Well, what were you thinking? He thought he was going to die. So he thought
Right.
he'll never survive it.
Right.
Anyway, so you meet all these guys. So I end up, then when I eventually get transferred, I get flown to Oklahoma City. Like you get driven around in these vans and shit. It's horrible. Being transported is the worst. So you get moved around. I end up going to Oklahoma City, and is it fucking 8:40?
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
We didn't start the podcast till 7:45.
Jesus God Almighty, we've been talking for an hour.
We're waiting on Fucko over here.
No, that had nothing to do with me.
Okay. So are we getting through this?
I mean, we just started.
Because I'll talk like you saw all the guys like, I'll watch a 6-hour podcast.
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you insane? There's like 60 or 80 guys saying, I'll watch 6 hours.
You got to go
You're
home?
captivating,
No,
Matt.
I don't have.
Danny might have to go home. That's the only
Well,
thing.
Danny's got a wife. That's.
I don't got shit. I'm off the
Danny
hook
could
tonight.
leave. Me and you could chat for a while.
I got
if
all
he
night,
leaves.
Matt.
Okay, so anyway, I get transferred. I fly around. I eventually end up back at Coleman. I get sentenced. I go to Coleman. When I go to Coleman, they send me to the medium first because I had so much time. I had 26 years, so you got 20 years left. You're just done. You know, you can't. I couldn't really send me to a pin. I can't go to a low. I go to the medium. I go straight when I go straight into the housing unit where I'm supposed to go. I meet my cellie. I think I mentioned this. Remember I tell you that I meet my cellie, and then I walk back out, and then they start screaming lockdown.
Oh
lockdown.
yeah, someone got stabbed up.
Somebody got stabbed in the yard.
Yeah.
So he's like, "You got to get in here."
He's got stabbed up a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. He was like, "Oh," I said, "Somebody died," and he's like, "No, someone they got stabbed up a little bit."
First day.
Yeah, just stabbed them up a little bit.
That's the same thing Tampa Tony told us when he went to prison for the first day. Somebody got stabbed out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's you know it's a bad situation.
Yeah, it can't be a good situation.
No.
I'm getting stabbed up a little bit.
He just got poked a little bit, right?
Yeah, just got.
He
a little
survived,
bit.
right?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? I'm sure he's fine. You know how many guys I've met? Listen, like 90% of the guys that meet him have bullet holes. They've all been shot.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's been stabbed.
Everybody.
It's just ridiculous. So I mean, you get the mindset there is there's so much mental health issues. They got a whole wing just for guys with mental health issues, bipolar. They've got guys there was a guy named Mr. Freeze, who had narcolepsy.
Yeah.
Where you fall asleep right. What happens?
Mr. Freeze?
They called him Mr. Freeze because he had narcolepsy, and narcolepsy apparently, like he would be walking across the compound.
And just fall asleep?
Yeah, but he wouldn't fall. He would, if he was sitting down, he'd fall down. He would walk and he'd suddenly just stop. And he'd just sit there for like a minute or two, and then he'd go,
Just blank out.
and he'd start walking again. And they called him Mr. Freeze. Guys that were in the unit with him, they said he would be sitting in a chair watching TV, and all of a sudden he'd go, and he'd fall out of the chair and hit the ground. Boom! And lay there for a minute or two, and guys would just look over. And he'd get up, get back in his chair. You telling me hitting the ground didn't wake you up?
Holy shit, dude.
So, you know how he ended up in the feds?
How?
He got some for theft or something, whatever, something stupid. He ends up going into to state prison in Florida. Well, there's no AC, so he's there and his cellie, and he's complaining about how hot it is, and he goes, "Oh, you want AC? You got to go to federal prison." He goes, "Well, how do I get to federal prison?" And he goes, "Oh man, you could do anything. You just got to commit a federal crime, and you'll do all your state time in federal prison." Yeah? He goes, yeah. He said, "Well, what's a federal crime?" He goes, "You could threaten the president." So he writes a letter to Bush. So at the time, he writes a letter to Bush, and he says he's going to kill Bush and his entire family, and he's going to rape the dog.
Wow.
Just throws a little sprinkle on top.
Yeah. Go ahead. And so
For good measure.
Secret Service come, they question him. He says, "Yeah, I wrote the thing." They bring him back to court, gets in front of the court. The lawyer explains to the judge, "Listen, the guy he's practically retarded." I mean, seriously. I mean, he had issues, and he's like, "Your Honor, this is what his cellie had told him. It's not." And the judge goes, "Yeah, but he wrote the letter." These judges, they got no sympathy.
care,
He's
right?
like, "Yeah, but he wrote the letter." He's like, "He's not even capable of getting himself to Washington, let alone harming the president." It's
Right.
ridiculous. He goes, "Yeah, but he wrote the letter. He was in it." And this is what I was told that he said, that the judge said, he goes, "The fact that he wanted to rape the dog is disturbing to me." He goes, so he said, "I'm going to give him what he wants, though."
That was the golden ticket of the letter.
He is going to federal prison. Right after you finish your state prison stint, you're gonna get 7 years in the feds. That's why he was in the feds.
Hey, angle your mic
damn.
a little bit up more.
Oh.
Just a little bit straight up more.
Like that?
So like this.
That?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. So,
That's hilarious.
ridiculous.
Dude.
This is not so, look,
Hence, so is that how he got the Mr. Freeze, or because was he?
no, Mr. Freeze was because he
Falling asleep.
actually no, 'cause
It
he would
works.
stop.
It works, right?
Yeah, he did get the AC.
He got the AC, so it's Mr. Freeze.
And then they had another guy named Itchy. Itchy was a black guy who had hair that he never combed. It was just like a rock. And Itchy was schizophrenic. Itchy, you have all
Like
these
an afro?
like an afro, but it's just like rocks. Like he never walked. Like it was
Yeah.
hard. If they don't, they got to pick it out and stuff.
Yeah,
You
yeah. It just gets knotted up. It's like a big
homeless
dreadlock.
guy. He's like a homeless guy in
Yeah.
prison.
Yeah.
And they have all these walkways. Itchy would walk right across the grass. Look, if I walked across the grass, I'm going to shoe. Itchy would walk right across the grass, and the cops would be like, "Itchy, Itchy, Itchy," and he'd go, "Rah, rah, rah," and he had a catchphrase, which was, "I still want my dick sucked." So the cops would yell at him, and they'd be like, "Itchy, come here," and he'd walk over. "What? And they go, "Told you not to walk across. Now you go down the sidewalk," and he'd go, all right," and he'd go, "Fine." He'd start walking off. He'd go, "I still want my dick sucked," and they'd be like, "Itchy." I mean, it happened. He was crazy. He'd walk up and start yelling at guys to give him coffee. They knew he was crazy.
How old was this guy?
Oh, he had to be in his 40s or 50s.
Jesus.
So I was on, at the time I was taking a Paxil, and I was taking Paxil, and I was in.
Paxil is what?
It's for depression and social anxiety. So I have social anxiety. I don't like large crowds. I'm in prison.
You're in prison.
Right. So I'm really
Bad case
having
scenario.
it's a bad situation, and I'm suffer from depression. So not good. So I'm in what they call pill line. So I'm standing in pill line one day, and Itchy just walks right across the grass. Everybody's screaming at him. He walks right in the front of the thing. Everybody backs up. Like they're all like, oh, he walks straight to the front line, gets his pills, takes his pills, and walks right back to the unit. Never really left the unit much, except to go get pills. Well, there's this guy going, man, that guy's fucking crazy. And there was this new guy who had just come to prison, and he got like 5 or 6 years. I don't even know why he was in the medium. He probably shouldn't have even been there. And I looked at him and I went, bro, I said, he goes, man, that guy's, he's messed up. He's like a homeless guy. He's all fucked up. And this and I go, bro, that guy right there? Keep in mind, most of your time is spent trying to entertain yourself. So you do stuff you would
stay busy.
Stay busy to keep yourself entertained, find things that are funny or interesting, read books, whatever. So I'm sitting there and I go, that guy? I go, bro, that guy used to own banks in the Cayman Islands. And he goes, are you serious? I went, yeah, bro. I said he was on like the cover of like Forbes magazine, and he had a fucking
Itchy
jets, and yeah, I said he owned like 10 banks. He was laundering money. I go, that dude's a fucking genius.
That's
and he goes,
fucking Itchy.
And he goes, well, he's crazy. I said, well, bro, some people. This guy was complaining about how much time he got, like 4 years or 5 years, and I go, well, some people can't handle the time; they just snap. And he was like, fuck. So I was just fucking with him, right? You know, trying to, because he's already been. He's like, I don't think I can do all this time. I got like 4 years. It's like 4 years. Shut up, man. Don't even talk to me. So you turned yourself in. You know how many guys I know that turn themselves in? They got like 10, 15 years and turn themselves in. You got 15 years and you turned yourself. Run.
Yeah.
Give it a shot. You already got your time. I can't even talk to that guy. So this guy's complaining. So anyway, I tell him, a couple days later, I'm in the chow hall, and I'm sitting at a table with a couple guys, and Itchy walks up, grabs his fucking meal, and walks off and sits down at a table. I mean, like, Itchy was so nasty and disgusting.
No one sat by him.
He'd sit at a table. Everybody would get up and move.
Yeah.
Because he's like, you know. So, and he didn't wait in line. So he gets his food, sits down, and another guy I don't know, is telling another guy, saying, bro, that guy owned like 50 fucking banks. He's worth $1 billion.
The story
The story was like, he was on the cover of Fortune, Forbes,
Wow.
private jets. And I'm like, holy
So someone took your story and
In
just
like a
fucking
day.
added
They
to
just
it.
run with
it's
it.
crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that is, it's hilarious. So, and when we were talking
What was Itchy actually in for? Did you already say that?
I have no
Who
idea.
knows?
He's probably crackhead and was in some conspiracy. You'd be shocked. There's every once in a while there's some crackhead that's like, how did you even commit a federal crime? And it's like, well, he happened to be one of 30 guys on a conspiracy. He's the lowest man on the top. He's the guy that is running back and forth, and the DEA comes in, and guess what? You just got a federal crime. Should be a state crime, but the DEA was investigating the top dogs, and your name's one of the many.